Hey, how you doing, Kyle? Welcome in. You see, I got a funky background there. I'm sitting on my couch. I decided to. Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me? Okay, good. So I thought I'd drop in for a little bit. I'm working on a Malkin traded video. It looks like Malkin's probably not going to be with Pittsburgh now. I don't think they're going to pay him. I think they're wanting him. If you want to stick around in Pittsburgh, it sounds like they want you to take like a really gravy deal. And to tell you the honest truth, it makes total sense. If I was, hey, what's up, Mark? If I were him, if I were Pittsburgh, I'd be doing the same thing. You know, if we're not going to be a contender, then there's no use us paying you like $8 million a year. If they pay Letang eight, Malkin eight, they're not going to fill up that roster enough to be a contender. It's honestly, they're not. So, you know, if they're willing to take like 4 or 5 and give them room to build onto that roster after they sign them, then maybe you can make a go of it. But otherwise, no, I totally agree with it. And I by the way Malkin's talking, and I'm going to do a video on it, doesn't sound like he's willing to do that. Oh yeah, there's going to be a whole lot of stuff. As far as the series are concerned, I don't know if you guys have been listening to me with Peyton on the radio. I talk a lot about it. To tell you the honest truth, Edmonton is surprising me more than anything. And Edmonton's going to be all pissed because it's going to be all about McDavid. I know them. They're going to be like, well, it's not just McDavid, it's a whole team. Yeah, dude, but no, it's McDavid. The defense is still atrocious, but McDavid is just doing things that are inhuman right now. Just absolutely inhuman. It's awe-inspiring. It's unbelievable. And it's not just what's on the ice, too. He's becoming the ultimate leader. I'm hearing like he's bringing up the whole organization, including like secretaries and whatever that means. Yeah, McDavid is just doing ridiculous things now. Calgary last game, they look nervous, man, and I'm really, and even Sutter even said it himself. They were nervous. They played nervous. There was a couple guys on that team that just seemed overwhelmed by the atmosphere or whatever, which is pretty crazy when you consider NHL players and you know what it's going to be like. But so I think Calgary will give a much better effort tonight. But I can't say one way or another who's going to win tonight. Honestly, I don't know. And say in the Carolina one too. Carolina can't win on the road. Maybe, yeah. I had Colorado Tampa in the finals, and I had Colorado winning, but I'm not so sure anymore. Tampa's defense is just unbelievable. And now with what's his name in Colorado? Why is his name escaping me? Gerard. Why do I always forget Gerard's name? It's like I want to call him Gilbert for some reason. Now with Gerard out, I mean, they got to play Manson and Jack Johnson a lot. And that's just not cool. That's not going to work out well against a team like Tampa Bay. Even Edmonton could expose that quite a bit. Yeah, but was Kadri pissed off? Is that what that looked like to you? It looked like the Blues were pissed. It looked like the Blues lost their composure trying to get Kadri back. To me, it looked like Kadri pissed everybody off, not vice versa. Like, I have a feeling that Kadri basically made it sound like he did it on purpose to Kemper. And I don't think he did, but he was using that to get them off their game. And whatever he did, it worked because they got him off. He got them off their game big time. Vasilevsky's the best goaltender in the world. Shesterkin, for sure, no doubt about it. On my Facebook group, Pearlo Wisdom, my NHL Pearls of Wisdom, you guys might want to check it out. My buddy, where's my brain today? I'm not used to doing these live streams. My brain is just shutting off. E-Money, he was saying that Vasilevsky could be one of the top 5 goaltenders of all time. Yeah, there we go. We just talked about it. Yeah. I mean, he's in the conversation for sure. You got to think top 5. Patrick Waugh, Martin Brodeur, Dominic Hasek. Who else? He's in that top 3 progressive. He's progressing towards the top 3 category. I don't know. I would say all of those guys, he reminds me of Carey Price. You know, yeah, you could put him in the Carey Price category. Why not? He's won 2 cups already. He's won more cups than Carey Price. No, yeah, Dominic Hasek is the best goaltender I've ever seen. No doubt about it. I agree. And the thing about Vasilevsky is it'll always have an asterisk because he played in front of that defense. But I don't know. Like you look at games like yesterday where they outshot 14-3. That defense was doing well to keep, I guess, the puck, but he stopped everything. But it's probably always going to have an asterisk because of his defense there. They're scared to drop the gloves. With who, though? Who are they going to drop the gloves with? I mean, fighting now, it's got to be at the right time and the right place. What they did yesterday was, well, it was silly, to tell you the honest truth. You got a game to win. You got a game to win. But, I mean, what's his name? Perron almost gave himself a 10-game suspension. He went in there with almost like a flying elbow and just happened to miss him. Yeah, I posted that on Facebook today, Bill. And nobody agrees with me out of my friends that are Philadelphia fans, but I think Tortorella is the guy. If you're not going to rebuild, Tortorella will probably get that team further than anybody else out there. I think Tortorella would be perfect for that team. The only thing is, though, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen because I don't believe, by the way, I know you guys are out of practice here, but smash that like button there. I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think the ownership of the Philadelphia Flyers and the management group that runs it has enough balls to have Tortorella as their coach. I don't think so. I don't think they have enough balls to do it. Because, I mean, Tortorella is going to tell you this. He doesn't care about losing this job. Like, he doesn't give a shit. Like, he's going to do what he's going to do. He's going to say a lot of things. And, you know, you gotta be able to roll with that. He's also going to give you the best chance of winning out of most coaches that you're going to hire. Like, that team, if you want a team that's going to compete every night, if you want a team that's going to be prepared to be a playoff team, if you want a team that is going to be prepared to go to war, if you want a team that's going to hate the opposition or they're gone, if you want a team that can play many ways and shut down super fast teams, you want Tortorella because that's what he does. No, I don't know. Do I think he will hire him? I don't think the Philadelphia Flyers will do it. Because, I mean, in his interview, he's going to tell them, like, hey, you're going to hire me, you know, you got to know who, if you don't, like, you got to know who he is. Like, you got to know his past. I really don't know what they would do. I really don't even know why they would call him. I don't know what coach would be good for them. I don't know if there is a coach to be good for them, because if you're going to basically, if you want a coach to basically be a puppet and not have an opinion, then you're done already before you even get started. Like, what the hell are you even doing here? The Philadelphia Flyers are sucking sponsored, you know, so hard that they can't be effective. Like, you can't do that. You got to have some balls. They don't have balls in that upper ownership, and upper management does not have balls at all. They don't. Like, I know it's difficult to do. You got people paying a lot of money there as sponsors. But somewhere along the line, you got to believe in your organization and say, you know what? You're going to be a sponsor or not going to be a sponsor. We're here to win. If you're not here to win, then bye. We'll find somebody else. You have to. That's what Ilitch did with Detroit Red Wings when they rebuilt it. He basically told their sponsors, if you're going to leave, you're going to leave. But we're going to build a dynasty here. If you don't want to be here for that, then so be it, I guess. I don't think he goes anywhere next year. I think he becomes an assistant somewhere. He's got to rebuild his reputation, I think, Peter DeBoer. I think he's got to rebuild his reputation. That's why taking coaching jobs, you got to be strategic. Like, that was a bad situation. It was a weird firing of Gallant. I got to work. I had to work. I tried it on NHL Hockey News Reports. I got to work now. I tried it on here to make a living, but It's a rough go, dude. You know as well as I do. You guys that are subscribed, it's wonderful, but people don't realize like how little, like you're not making anything until you're getting, even off the wall John, he's not making anywhere near a sustainable living doing what he's doing. But what do I think? The Leafs will soon be making moves? That is a question I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know what to do with that team. I have a feeling they're going to say we took the champions to Game 7, and I have a feeling they're just going to do the same. Add some pieces, but I don't think they're going to be trading the Nylanders and all that. I don't see another option other than Campbell out there for them, unless they can, for some reason, somehow get Gibson or something like that. Yeah, so I have to make a living somehow. So. No, that would be a really poor move. Firing Sullivan would be. It's like firing Sullivan is like firing Brindamore or something like that. Like, he's an amazing coach. It has nothing to do with him. He gets slighted a lot because he's got Crosby on his team. So, people put a lot of their success on the fact that Crosby is on the team, and there is some truth to that. Make sure you're hitting that like button, everybody. There is some truth to that, but he's a great coach. I don't think they're going to fire him now. I mean, I know what people say in trading Nylander, but I mean, I look at it. It really depends on the value you're getting back. Nylander is a spectacular player. If you trade Nylander, you're probably going to look bad in the trade. Because if he gets top line minutes on most teams, he's going to get, he has the potential to be a 90 to 100 point player. Yeah. I'd say, I mean, Sullivan's got a lot out of, a lot of injuries on Pittsburgh. Not the greatest defense on paper. Like, his defense on paper does not look good. That can't be all Crosby. Goaltending issues and stuff like that, and he keeps on making the playoffs all the time. Yeah, like, I don't know. I've looked at it. I'm sure there'd be a lot of people on the phone for Nylander, but what do they really want to give up, Like, what you need? Like, I think Los Angeles might be on the phone for a guy like Nylander. They could put Adrian Kempe down to the second line. So you would have, like, I'd want Kaliev, though. So they got to know, like, what is their value of Kaliev? 27-point guy, he's 20 years old. What do they believe Kaliev's high-end talent is? And, you're taking on, he's signed till 2024. And Toronto wants to win now, so it's not only going to be Kaliev in that deal. Kaliev, Kupari, and Matt Waugh or something like that. Matt Roy. Kaliyev, Kupari, and Matt Roy. Now, does that make your team better for this year? Is that a trade that somebody's going to do to win now? You might be able to. They might be able to add another player in that deal. You know, so maybe you're looking at more depth here, more value in the long run. And LA is getting an amazing right winger to play with Kopitar or whatever. I could see something like that. I definitely think LA would be on the phone for Nylander. And the other thing, with all of what I just said, you still haven't solved your goaltending issues. I still don't think you're winning a cup with Campbell. Yeah, I mean, they had a bad draw of the Sticks playing the Lightning first round, but they weren't beating the Lightning in any round, probably. To tell you the honest truth, I don't even think they got the best Lightning team there in a lot of those games. So were they beating? You got to be able to beat the Lightning, probably. Period. So I mean, if you're going in the playoffs saying, "Oh shoot, we lost in the first round because we played the Lightning. We could have went 2 rounds and then played the Lightning," then don't even bother going in. It don't matter. Like all this, they lost in the first round stuff. Personally, who cares? You lost. You lost in the finals. You still freaking lost. Like the whole point is winning the cup. If I own a team, do I care if I lose first, second, or I guess I do because of television rights. If money is an issue, then I suppose, sure, of course. But if you're a team that money is not really an issue like it should be with Toronto, who cares? First round, second round. The fact is you lost. I mean, Giroux for Nylander. Well, I mean, yeah, that's a gift. Getting Giordano for $800,000, holy crap, that's a gift. Wow. Hey, go Kings, go! We were just talking about your Kings. We were talking about Nylander being traded to LA for Kupari, Kaliyev, and Roy. And I'm going to guess that almost every Kings fan would say no to that. Because Kings fans value their young players at a very high value. Who was it that was on here all the time? The Kings fan that was on here all the time. That, you know, they thought Kaliyev was going to be a 40-goal scorer this year. And I was like, I mean, that would make him a superstar if he could be a 40-goal scorer at 20 years old. They already have. I couldn't put Trevor Moore in that deal. You're talking about Nylander here. Basically, if a team's going to trade for Nylander, you got to be putting a package together for a 90-plus point winger. If you're calling and saying, well, you know, Trevor Moore, Peterson, and a first or something like that, you know, don't even bother picking up the phone. Forget about it. It's going to cost you Kaliyev at least, Roy, a first. It's going to cost a big package of players because he's on a pretty reasonable contract right now too. Well, if he played alongside McDavid, he'd get a hell of a lot more than 90. Look what McDavid is turning Kane into. He would be a 100-point plus player for sure. I don't what Edler's what 55 years old, something like that. No, basically, go Kings if you want Nylander. You got to look at players on your roster and go, who do I really would I hate to see leaving, and those are the guys that are going. You're not going to be trading guys like, oh, we could do without Edler. Well, then don't even bother saying it because it's not going to cost you somebody you could do without. It's going to cost you people that you really don't want to let go of, for sure. No doubt about it. We were talking last night about the possibility of Malkin going to LA too. But, okay, from Toronto's perspective, let's say you got Kupari, Kaliev, and a first. You're still rolling with Campbell. Your team isn't as good as it was before. You know, making that move now, I think, delays your cup run. Because those guys aren't going to be ready for cup to run for a cup for another 2-3 years still. 2 years, say. So yeah, it brings you more depth, but it doesn't make you better now. There was somebody was saying had a deal for Philadelphia, I think it was. And the heck was that deal? I mean, it did make some sense. If you're really going to look at depth rather than, you know, a superstar type, well, a star player like that, and you're going to look at building some depth throughout the roster instead, this deal made sense. Philadelphia. I think it was like Lawton, Atkinson. Lawton, Atkinson, and somebody. Well, you're scared that he won't. He hasn't announced that he's going to come back. I mean, I can't for the life of me understand why you would be hugging the referees if you were coming back. Like at the end of that game, it certainly looked like Bergeron was retiring. And if they're retiring, if Bergeron's retiring, I personally think it doesn't make any sense at all to do anything other than a rebuild. Like, you're not going to replace Bergeron. Not without drafting the player. Who are you going to get? Scheifele? Really? You're going to go get Scheifele for a whole bunch of draft picks you don't even have or prospects you don't have? The prospect pool is dry. Like, okay. Toronto, yeah. Yeah, you would have to do an epic fleece. You'd have to find first thing I would do is call up Chuck Fletcher, see if Couturier is available or something like that. But even then, like, you'd have to give up, like, you'd have to get Couturier for a first, Charlie Coyle, and just a bunch of nothing really, because they don't have much. They don't have anything. Beecher. To me, the writing is on the wall. If Bergeron is retiring, it's over. Lion A to LA does make sense, yeah. But Lion A has expressed over and over and over again he loves it in Columbus. So, and I get the idea that Kekalainen is a guy that sees a lot of value in Lion A. I think he stays there. Well, they're going to feel like they should, if Bergeron leaves, all of them should feel like they're in another organization. If Bergie leaves, I'm trading everyone. It's burn it down, start over. That's, again, I don't know what the sponsors in Boston and all that kind of stuff like that. They could screw up what you need to do, but if Bergie leaves, it's time to trade them all. It's time to truly rebuild in Boston. I believe, anyways. What the fuck? Well, it depends on who actually does the rebuilding. Yeah, it could be. If Boston rebuilds, Pittsburgh. Yeah, a lot of those teams might not have timed this very well because there might not be enough out there. Well, Marchand's what, 33 though? McAvoy, you're not trading McAvoy. McAvoy and Pasternak are young enough that you could probably rebuild around them if you could do it real quick. But I hate to see Marchand go. If I was a Bruins fan, Marchand is like what I call a hockey player's hockey player. Marchand is what I call what I believe what it means to be a hockey player. That's a guy who hates to lose. And he's got an arrogance about him. He's got the attitude of a hockey player. That's a champion. Attitude of a champion. I would hate to see them go. There's a lot of value in keeping Marchand too, because young guys have to learn how to, but you got to make the playoffs to learn that. So I don't know. I'll be right back. Just one sec, guys. Sorry about that. It was just getting too warm. I had to get some shorts on. Yeah. I mean, what's Pasternak's 25. He's got a contract coming up. He's still young enough that you could rebuild around Pasternak. I think I would keep him. He's just too good. He's so good. And I love Marchand, but he's 34, man. He looks like he's never going to stop, but And it's hard because he's got such a killer contract. But you're stuck with Taylor Hall now. Yeah, Lindholm fortunately didn't have a no-trade clause, so you move him. Brandon Carlo, move him. No use keeping him. Yeah, Grzelcyk, gone. All of them. Grab as many picks as you can and start all over again. That's what I do, but I'm just that kind of person. Like, I don't know. That's the way I see it. Like, you got to look at the class of the league. You got a Tampa Bay Lightning team there. Like, if I'm Dallas, if you're Dallas, you're looking at that Dallas team and you're thinking to yourself, are we even close to Tampa Bay? You got Ottinger. That puts you close. You know, you got pieces there. Robertson, Rope Hintz. But besides that, Heiskanen. Heiskanen, Robertson, Hintz, and Ottinger. And the rest, let's get some young players built. Keep on building our draft pool. Keep on building stocking up our minor league system. Just, I don't know how you get rid of Seguin or stuff like that, but you do whatever you can to do it because there's no need having Seguin and Ben there anymore. Nothing. It's no good. What good are they now? They might have value to somebody else right now if you retain. And that's what I would do. But again, what sponsors do you have yapping in your ear? I'm going to take this money, that money, whatever. You got an owner there that has to make a living, well, I mean, he's making a living, but it's a business. He's got to make money. Nashville interviewed Barry Trotz too. Wow, eh? I'm sure he would go back there if he could. I know that they don't want him there in Nashville. Said he's nothing but a dump and chase guy. He had nobody. What else was he going to do with that team? They signed, Arizona signed Probitsov. 1-year contract, but it doesn't say. You would think it would be a 2-way deal. Okay, the Maple Leafs made some front office changes. Player evaluation, Jim Paliafito. No longer with the club. So they let go 2 guys. Paliafito. Oh, what the hell? So Paliafito was involved in the recruitment of Zaitsev and Mikheyev. And they fired their analytics guy. That'll be something interesting. Peyton would be interested in that. Toronto fired their analytics guy. Who's on the chopping block? I don't think anybody's on the chopping block. I think they're going to see how this team responds. As far as players are you concerned, going to be traded? I think they're going to see how this team responds now to a new coach. There's not much you can do with this team. I think a lot of players will get a short leash, but Barzal's going to get... I would hope, for their sake, that they're going to get somebody to play with Barzal now. And Wallstrom's going to get a chance to play now. Beauvillier will get higher minutes. Like, they're going to play their young players, I'm sure. Probably, I wouldn't even be surprised if they put Barzal on with Beauvillier and Wallstrom, but they need a creative player on the wing there in New York. And I don't know how they're going to go about doing that. I would consider trading Brock Nelson plus to get somebody like that. Nylander, for instance. A guy like Nylander would be great for the New York Islanders. Fiala would be one that they'd probably be looking at, yeah. The thing about getting Fiala is Minnesota doesn't want any money back. That might make that difficult. And the Islanders aren't steeped in prospects, so I don't think Fiala's realistic there, unless they have like a hard-on for Beauvillier. But Senators, yeah, I don't think interdivision is going to be something they would do there. It would make sense for the Senators for sure, though. John Gibson wants out of there. Yeah, exactly. Oh, for sure. I don't know where you were reading that, but I definitely would say that's very likely, yeah. Apparently, I don't think Fleury wants to go to Canada, but, you know, maybe. Fleury, I mean, you know what really muddles it up with Fleury is he didn't have a great playoffs in Minnesota. But with all the goaltenders needed out there, it may not matter. I think it depends a lot on what Pittsburgh decides to do. Yeah, Fleury's would have to take a big pay cut for that. I think at this point, Fleury's not interested in taking pay cuts. He's been screwed around quite a bit by organizations. I think Fleury's taking care of himself now. Oh, you took it down. That was interesting what you were going to say. Yeah, I know. It still should be okay for him because he did play really well in Chicago, although people don't really see that because of his numbers. But I'm sure there'll still be somebody out there for him. I think it really depends on what Pittsburgh decides to do. There's a couple teams that I think, like if Bergeron comes back in Boston, maybe they could find a way to move Allmark and bring Fleury in to play with Swayman. That makes sense. I'm just not sure that Allmark's value is that high at $5 million now. If Pittsburgh just finds a way to sign Malkin and Letang, I could see them trying to find a way to fit in Fleury. Actually, you wouldn't piss off Ranger fans because the Rangers fans I hear don't like Kakko at all. I don't know what you could get for Kakko, but the problem the Rangers have is, you're getting cap strapped. And are they playing Lafreniere on the right-hand side now? I think the bigger question for me is Lafreniere going to be happy on the right-hand side there? New York Rangers. Yeah, they got Lafreniere playing with Strome and Panarin now. Now, he was playing good on the left side with that kid line. But I'm just not sure how he's going to progress on the right-hand side. If Lafreniere is effective on the right-hand side, then yeah, I think Kakko will be somebody that they might be putting out there as a... Kyle, how you doing? I don't know, dude. I think that could be a draw. Like, I think Calgary's going to come out hard, I would think. But it really surprised me how unprepared they looked last game. I can't see that happening again. I don't know. That series could go so many ways. I originally had Calgary winning in 5, honestly, because the Oilers' defense was so bad. But Calgary really hasn't exposed their defense like I thought they would. Like, yeah, they looked like they were just a deer in the headlights. Looked terrible. He was back to third left wing last game. So there you go. It looks to me like he's just not effective on the right side. And if that's the case, they got more problems than Kakko there. I don't think they can, because if he can't adjust to the right side, they could be in trouble. Because he's not going to want to sign, Lafreniere's not going to sign a contract as a third line left winger. No way. So that's good. If he can't adjust to the right side, that's going to create problems in the long run for them. I would think they're not, but I've got to the point now where McDavid is playing at a level that anything can happen, man. Like, when superstars like that are playing like he is, they can practically win series all by themselves. He's playing insane. Well, I'm pretty sure you were listening before the playoffs when I said Florida doesn't have the game. I was saying that going into the playoffs, I didn't think Florida had the game to win in the playoffs yet. You can get away with playing that type of pure offense like they did in the regular season, but in the playoffs, when you got a team like, especially a team like Tampa Bay, you're playing against the same team for game after game. They're going to analyze every aspect of your game. And if you don't have a ability to play in a shutdown type game every once in a while, and if you have defensive structure breakdowns, which Florida showed that they had all year, a team like Tampa Bay is going to just totally expose that. You're done. You're done. I don't care who your offensive players are. That's why I thought Edmonton, unless you got a McDavid apparently, because that's why I thought Edmonton was going to lose that series, for the same reason I thought Florida was going to lose to Tampa Bay. But, Huberdeau is not McDavid. Barkov is wonderful, but he's not McDavid. And, and they got a young team. They got a young coach. You have a gut feeling the Rangers are going to win it? Really, eh? Tonight's going to be a big one for that. I'm kind of leaning the Rangers tonight too. It's just Carolina can't seem to win on the road. But tonight's going to be a big one for that. Because Carolina tonight has to come out and play a 4-line game, and they can't be back on their heels. Which means I should be on the over here. Yeah, oh yeah, Smith played really well, for sure, no doubt about it. But, I mean, they weren't winning last game the way they were playing no matter what. Unless Smith had a stupid bad game. Hi, Liam Wolf. How you doing, my friend? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I'm feeling the Rangers too tonight, and I just feel like they got some momentum and confidence off that last win. Yeah. I could actually see a draw. I'm doing good, buddy. Is this your first time in the stream, Liam? I think I've seen you before, but I can't remember if you were in this stream or if you were with Peyton and I or what. So we were talking about the series right now. I mean, it's Shesterkin's playing insane. And then when they get into Carolina, there you go. They're starting to talk about hockey. Yeah, I know. It's not like they didn't show up. It's that Shesterkin is insane. And that's... Yeah, it's not like they didn't show up. And I think they'll show up tonight because Carolina always does. Oh, right on. Welcome. Everybody give some hype in the chat for Liam, his first time on the stream. That's why I think it's a 50-50 game. I think the odds makers have it right. Like it could very much go either way. And I think the first period is going to say a lot about what happens. I don't think it would be a bad idea for Carolina to try to run and gun with the Rangers tonight. To give it a shot. To see if they can catch them, wear them. To see if they can skate them into the third where, because Carolina's got way more depth, that they'll have more legs come the third period. Even bring it to overtime. Even bring it to overtime. I honestly haven't put anything in for the side here at all. For either side. Oh, Blay is skating? Really? Yeah, I'm going live tonight. No, I'm not on. That's right. I'm not on tonight with Peyton. He's going on with his other friend there tonight, which is too bad. I wanted to be on tonight, but. Oh, maybe. Yeah, Carolina has a difficult time drawing penalties, though. They're not a very angry team. They actually, I'm surprised, but they're one of the more penalized teams. And you don't want to do that with the Rangers. Hey, how you doing, Christine? You don't want to be taking penalties with the Rangers for sure. Okay, talk about the Rangers. I'm just going to let it flow here. Carolina should beat the Rangers all day long. Carolina's 4 lines on paper are better than the Rangers. Their defense, top 4, is probably a little better. But their system, if played properly, should give the Rangers fits. They should be able to outskate the Rangers all over the rink as long as they can keep their heads. As long as they can keep their heads, they should be able to, and that's really what it comes down. Like a little bit of a problem is Carolina almost has to play a perfect system to win against teams. Yeah, I don't think they can afford to strip the team down, but in other ways, I can't see how they can afford not to either. So it's a very weird situation there. Yeah, Carolina should win that series. New York Rangers' fourth line is garbage, to tell you the honest truth. The New York Rangers' fourth line is horrible. And Carolina's fourth line should be, but the problem is they're a little young. Kokaniemi. I think they got to put Stepan back in. The experiment didn't work. They got to get Stepan back in there. But Tyler Mott, Rooney, and Reeves. I mean, Reeves is nothing. Like, oh, he gets angry and he hits people every once in a while, but he can't do nothing. I like the way the Rangers lineups have been set up. Kreider, Zibanejad, and they put Heidel on the right side now. They're trying him on the right. Panarin, Strome, and Lafreniere, but Hugh said he went back to the left. So this has probably changed now. But once you get down to the fourth line, it's just not good, man. Tony D and Domi are going. Well, Domi's been keeping his head, but Tony D maybe. Because they are needling Tony DeAngelo big time. And that's the other thing. The Rangers have Carolina has all those ex-Rangers on there. They should be able to know what, the Rangers are going to do, although they have a different system now that Gallant is there. But they know what to say to Tony D to get him off. And it's obviously working because he's going off a lot and he needs to shut up. Yeah, he flips the lines a lot. I like what he's doing. He's trying to find depth to compete against Carolina's bottom lines. But let's face it, I mean, Carolina's got a problem in a way too. Svechnikov only has a couple points this year. I mean, they haven't been getting enough offense from their players either. It's really been the biggest problem for Carolina. They're not getting offense right now. And having Shesterkin in net isn't helping that any. So I'm totally on the fence about that game. Usually when I'm on the fence about a game like that, it ends up going in overtime. As far as the Edmonton Calgary game, Calgary just, like Sutter said it best, they got to play their team game. If they play their team game, I mean, McDavid's going to pot of his couple, but they should be able to beat up those lower lines when they're on the ice. They should be able to. It just appears like they're getting fixated on, even scared. Like it almost seems like McDavid has got into the heads, especially of the defenseman there. Like, and I don't blame him, because you're going on the ice knowing that you're probably going to get made look a fool that game, like by by McDavid at least once. And I think they just got to put that out of their heads and go out and play. You know, whatever happens, happens. But if you're going in there thinking, worrying about getting embarrassed by McDavid or something like that, and my leaning is that my inkling is that that's what's happening with some guys, like the younger players and stuff like that. That you know, they're overwhelmed by what McDavid is going to do. And I'm sure Sutter's sitting there going, you know what, McDavid is amazing. He may make you look stupid at times, but there's a whole team on that other side, not just McDavid. You know, if they keep McDavid to 2 points, Calgary can win that game. They just keep on playing. I mean, Edmonton's going to be, they got to make some adjustments on their breakouts too, and that's the same as Carolina or anyone. Florida. Last game, Edmonton was anticipating their breakouts. Nah, I don't think so. What are you going to run around? What do you want to do to Lucic, really? What did Lucic do? He could have did something a lot worse than that. What are you going to do about it? I mean, is that really what your focus needs to be on right now? If you're Edmonton? I don't think so. You think Oilers at 5? I hope you're right. Being an Oilers fan, but my ego is going to get hit because I had Calgary in 5 to start the series. But as far as Lucic is concerned, what do you want to happen with Lucic? Do you want him to, like, are you going to intimidate him? No. That was the whole point. Lucic can get away with basically what he wants. I mean, if the Oilers can get up a couple goals, maybe they'll go after some of their players a little bit. Maybe they'll go after some of their players a little bit. And say, you know, like, this is what you get for doing what you did to, you know, that's what I think might happen. But at first, I don't think there's anything you do much about it. I don't think Lucic did really anything wrong. Well, I'm sure he didn't try not to have something happen, but he certainly didn't try to hurt Smith. The best thing you can do with Lucic is just skate circles around him. Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. I'm sure McDavid will break a lot of records in his time. But guys, I just came on for a while to say hello because I hadn't did it in a long time. I got to get going now. It It was a lot of fun. I might be on tonight. If I'm not, it doesn't look like I'll be on with Peyton. I'll be on the next game though. Oh, for sure. See you later, everybody. Thanks for coming on. Have a great day. Tell all your friends to sub up. Okay, bye.